evening. Good evening. Okay, so Taneshwar and Siddharth, how was the camp last week?
So it was a good camp, sir. We enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was
Okay,
a good,
We
yeah.
went to a base city and we were able to go on a military navy ship.
right. Okay, so Siddharth, are you ready with your presentation?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so without further ado, we'll start with your presentation. So, as usual, Siddharth is going to have the presentation be made, and let us now listen to him. And after that, we will get on with today's activity, which will also have the continuation tomorrow. Siddharth, you can start now.
Okay, sir. Sir, should I do the video presentation or just normal?
You have the slides with you?
No, sir.
Okay, so let's get on with the video presentation because we have been talking about it.
Okay, sir.
Guru Prasanna, are you able to hear all of this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so boys and Mitra, this is Siddharth Saranakumar for you. I have seen him and you are seeing him for the first time.
Hi.
A smart, cool guy. Yeah, okay.
It's the morning, so don't mind my
Right,
hair.
Siddharth.
It's still a mess.
Sorry?
It's the morning for us, so like my hair's still messy.
That's okay, that's okay. Okay, I'll switch off my video for a better view to everybody. Okay, right. So, Siddharth Saranakumar, as usual, is having the presentation to be made and he's going to start. The presentation starts in 3, 2, 1, go. Yes, Siddharth.
Good evening and good morning, everyone. Today I will make a speech/presentation about Model UN and how it works. Model United Nations, also known as Model UN or MUN, is an extracurricular activity in which students typically role-play in delegates to the UN and simulate UN committees. These activities take place at MUN conferences, which is usually organized by a high school or college MUN club. At the end of most conferences, outstanding delegates in each committee are recognized and given an award certificate. The best delegate in each committee, however, receives a gavel. A gavel is like a hammer but used for MUN and made out of wood. The gavel is like in a court how they bang the wood stick on the plate to make everyone be quiet. The same thing goes for the gavel. It's that, but for higher conferences. Thousands of middle school and high school and college students across the country and around the world participate in Model United Nations, which involves substantial researching, public speaking, debating, and writing skills, as well as critical thinking, teamwork, and leadership abilities. For my Model UN conferences, it's coming soon, like November 4th, I'm pretty sure. I have a position paper ready made. It's not a complete one, but it's a work in progress, and that's pretty good. This is what I have. In the top, as you can see, I have my country, UK, and I have my name. Then I have my committee, WHO, which stands for World Health Organization. Then I have my intro. This explains and like introduces myself to everyone in the committee and makes known what my situation is in that committee and how it's going so far. For our topic in my conference is about COVID-19. So I start off with like a good morning for everyone in the chair. This will most likely get everyone to favor me because I said this way. Then I tell them the main topic that gather around to discuss pressing virus spreading across the world. Then I say what the world has done so far. Most countries gone far. Then I talk about myself, the country that I'm standing for, the UK. I tell them how I have helped the world. Like, for example, the UK exported more than 3.71% of the world's COVID-19 vaccines that are being used. And then I finally say why we should help each other get better and how to make each other better from this uh, COVID. Then I start talking about the restrictions in the UK and around the globe, right here. And then after that, I talk about specific restrictions only for the UK and explain in detail what each kind of system is. And then the bottom, I have a note that I should say eventually in some point in the conference. For me, I have like thanking the public workers because they're risking their lives for us and then making our lives better. And also on the bottom, UK produces Novavax COVID vaccine. That's just a that's just at some point to be helpful that UK produced this vaccine. And that is all. Thank you.
All right, good job, Siddharth. Nice, short, crisp, and concise presentation. You have any questions, anybody? To Siddharth, I have a couple of questions before that. I would like to know if anyone has got any questions. Yeah, so my question to Siddharth is, one second. Yeah, my question to Siddharth is, you spoke about vaccination in your presentation, Siddharth. What is your solution for those people who are set into a panic about vaccination? You know, some people have got their own disclaimer that besides taking up 2 vaccinations, they're still affected by COVID, and some other people with some other kind of illness. So this kind of adverse thought that is prevailing all over the world, that irrespective of the number of vaccinations we intake, we still are exposed to do a lot of trouble. So how do you eradicate that fear mindset in people's mind?
Sure, for this conference, I'm working as UK. So it would depend on what UK has done so far or what they're thinking to do. What I imagine that they would do is like bring peace to the country and make sure they're not in a panic situation, make them calm down. And if they're still not like, if the majority of the population is still worried about it, then the UK president might just like go under lockdown to make everyone calm down a bit more, just to make sure that they're safer than before. And then after they lift a lockdown, they can just like mandate more rules for COVID-19 and force more people to take the vaccine. So everyone else will be less concerned about themselves because everyone around them are protected.
Okay, that's nice. Have a question. Next question is from Mitra.
Siddharth, it was a very nice presentation. So we have seen you doing lots of presentation in US batch also. In like last week you made about space, and in the previous week you made about macromolecules. But suddenly you got into this general topic. So what was the reason why you chose this topic?
The reason I chose this topic was in the coming weeks, I'm going to have a conference in another high school with many other people from different high schools. So this is like the rough draft of what I have for my position paper. Position papers are pretty much just papers that you give to the chair or the people running the whole thing. Like they maintain order, the judge of the court. So I give them this paper of what I have, my information, and what kind of script I'm going to say. And eventually, at the end of it, at the end of the whole conference, they give awards. And then I have a chance of winning the award for best position paper from this alone, if it's good enough for the things. And then, can you repeat the question again? I think I
That's
answered.
it. I mean, that's the question, and you have answered that very much.
Okay.
Any other question to Siddharth? Okay, all right. So, Naneshwar, do you have any presentation today?
Yes, sir. I made one.
Okay. Right. So, Siddharth, you've done a wonderful job. I really appreciate the presentation was so good.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, Mitra.
Okay. Let
Yeah,
me.
Daneshwar, it's your turn. Are you making a video presentation, Daneshwar?
No, I made a PowerPoint.
All right. Okay, I'll switch off my video so that your PowerPoint will be in the full grid. Go for it.
Okay. So I made my presentation about aeroplanes. Okay, so this is some general info. So airplanes are the fastest way to travel around the world today. Uh, many things like ships or cars, they can't go as fast as a plane. And And I'm going to be talking about why that is the reason. And in some countries, they're spelled differently, like aeroplanes, like the UK. And then there's many different type of planes. There are private jets, passenger aircrafts, cargo planes, military jets, and like small personal aircrafts, if you want that. And approximately 100,000 flights take off and land every single day all around the world. And there are more than 41,700 airports all around the world. So how it began. On December 17, 1903, Kitty Hawk, North Carolina. That's a typo. Wilbur and Orville Wright had created the first ever successful aircraft. It was self-propelled and it was able to go 120 feet in 12 seconds. Well, that may be slow, but like it was also like the first like actual flying vehicle at the time. So yeah, and then these are the parts of the airplane. I'm gonna be going over some of the main ones. Um, they're put together with many different parts because they are heavy flying machines and they are very like they're very complicated to control and do a lot of things, and they also transport passengers. So all these components are necessary for a plane to perform properly. Okay, so we're gonna be starting with the cockpit. The cockpit is basically the brain of an aircraft. It is where all the things are executed and controlled, and it's where you can, tell the plane what to do, and the plane will do it. And this is where pilots sit and do all their work. Um, for example, so what you can do is, probably the most important thing you can do is control the throttle and steering. So throttle is how much energy you're making or how hard you're making the engine work, and that's how it depends how fast the plane goes. So if it's at max, it's probably taking off because the plane is resisting gravity to go up. So you want to put in as much, engine power as possible and thrust. So you should probably put it at max. And steering is an important thing as well because if you need to navigate around the world, because most planes are just passenger planes. I mean, there are cargo planes to, transport stuff from different places around the world, but you need to control a plane and where it's going. It can't just go straight because not all airports are aligned that way. So, so basically, like passenger airlines and maybe cargo airlines, they get yokes. Yokes are basically the steering wheel of a plane, and some like smaller planes like this one in the picture might only get like a joystick. So that's what you would use to control the steering. The fuselage. The fuselage is the backbone of the aircraft. It holds all the parts together, including the nose and the tail. It's also the center of mass, so that's where the most weight is gonna be, and that's where like all of it is like based off around, and it also holds passengers. So it's ideal for passenger planes and cargo airplanes, because cargo carries goods and stuff, and passenger airplanes carry passengers. So other than those, there's private jets that have fuselage, but jets like military jets or like your own private jet or something, uh they probably won't have a fuselage because there's no like it's not necessary for them to carry anyone or anything. So wings and flaps, this is a very important aspect of a plane. Without without wings, they won't be able to take off or take land. They the thing is they're very sharp on the edge, so they give more buoyancy for the plane for it to glide better, and to cut air out of the way and to actually have a good like speed going. They do increase the speed it goes at, because there's more like buoyancy. It's like, what buoyancy means is like how like an object is shaped to, resist air. So what this does, it moves air out of the way, and yeah, it gives a more stable and faster travel speed. And then flaps are also very important. So over here you see like these boxes here. They're the flaps like on the bottom. So what they do, they flip up and down, and they are controlled in the cockpit. So what they do, if they flip up and down to change like how the plane's gonna go. So if it wants to take off, then it would be down, and then if it wants to land, it would go up, because that's how the air would push it. Engines. Engines is probably the most important thing, because this is the reason that the planes even move. And so what they do is this wheel here, it just spins really quickly, and it generates energy, and it provides thrust to the engine. I mean, it provides power to the engine, which then provides thrust, and this is how a plane moves. It spins like really quickly, and let me see if I can get a picture to show you, because it's actually like cool how it works.
Anish, are you working on something? We are having a blank.
Oh yeah, I'm getting a picture to show you. So yeah, this is how a jet engine works. As you can see, there's like a ton of gears and stuff, and they push air inwards, and they get converted into energy here, and then it goes off as thrust, and that's how the plane actually moves. So yeah, just thought I'd share that. Okay, we're back on the presentation. So it is ideal for a plane. So what it does is it is used as thrust to move forward. And plane also has some stuff like drag. If you don't know what drag is, it's basically like the amount of like force that that pushes on like a vehicle while it's moving. So a car has a lot of drag, and that's how drag racing works. Like the car is built in like a weird way to fight that. That's why it's like very sharp in the end. So and then there's also drifting. Drifting is made from drag. So a plane, it doesn't do any of those things. So that's why it's shaped a certain way to avoid as most drag as possible and more thrust for a faster airline. Okay, these are just some fun facts. Okay, Leonardo da Vinci. So the first successful flying plane might have happened in 1903, but nearly 5 centuries ago, Leonardo da Vinci made like a prototype for a helicopter design. So this is it right here. So it's like there's some wings on the top and there's a pole, and it wouldn't have worked, but it's cool to see that people did stuff like this, and it was like thought about back then as well. Okay, next I'm gonna be talking about the Concorde jet. It was a flight created by the British Airways. It was the fastest flying plane at the time, and it had a retractable nose. If you can see it in the picture, like the nose is pointed downwards. It had a speed of 1,354 miles per hour, or 2,709 kilometers per hour. That is more than double the speed of like a regular passenger airline. A regular passenger airline goes until like 720 miles per hour. So it's a lot. It was very quick. But it was discontinued because it was like really hard to it was too much money to operate it, and the tickets weren't that much money either. So wiring. Planes have so much wiring compacted together. So an aircraft such as the Boeing 747 has 150 miles of wiring, which is about 240 kilometers. So there's a lot of wires, and like larger and double decker airlines like the Airbus A380 has over 320 feet of just wires and 515 kilometers. So this kind of shows that planes are very complex things, vehicles. Okay, and then next I'm going to be talking about Ray-Ban. Uh, it is one of the most popular sunglass companies in the world. And in 1937, when countries were preparing for World War II, there's a lot of Air Force fighter jets going around, and they gave off like a blinding glare. Uh, I think it was with like the bullets and like the weapons and stuff. So these sunglasses were made to resist the blinding glare, and it was to combat and protect your eyes from there as well. And this is also why the glasses were called the aviator. And then, so this is a jet airline. There's no like fuselage in this. There is, but it's just like not very like big. So okay, and that's the end of my presentation.
Good job,
Great
great
job.
presentation.
Great presentation, Tanisha.
Thank you, everyone.
Well, I mean, the Ray-Ban fact was really good to know. I was always wondering why Ray-Ban was always called as an aviator glass. I had a school of thought about it, and good that I got some resurgent emphasis on that. Dakshin,
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
good evening. What's going on? You keep getting into the room, getting out. What's going on? Power
So
shut
now
off?
it's actually I had a problem with you. So I'll bounce back. I'll be stable here.
Okay, so yes, Tanishwar, you are pressing the enter button so wildly.
I was pressing the arrow button. Yeah, okay.
Okay, Dakshin, we'll start with you. Ask a question to Tanishwar. It was a very nice presentation.
Okay, sir. So well done, Tanishwar. First of all, it was a really good presentation.
Thank you.
I'd like to ask you, where would you place or where would you rank airplanes amongst all the great inventions in human history, according to you?
Wait,
Where does where
can
do
you
airplanes
repeat that?
like uh, for instance, there are a lot of great inventions that mankind has made, like ranging from the bulb to a lot of different things. So, amongst all those inventions, where do you rank airplanes?
Uh, so planes are kind of like fundamental because, there's a lot of planes like taking off every single day. So if there's like 100,000 planes taking off every single day, and that's like 100 to 200 passengers in a plane. So, it's a lot of people. A large population of the world is going on just planes. So, you know, I thought I'd make a presentation about that, and like the light bulb. Like, I mean, I could make a presentation about that, but like, yeah.
So Tanisha, it was a great question, great presentation, and I have a question towards you. So I got this question when you were making your presentation about the parts of the plane. So many people might have negative thoughts before they board onto the flight. They might think, what if on the mid-air, what if there is a mistake in some of the parts, and some people have this type of intuition towards their journey. So you might have boarded lots of flight, and how was your experience? Oh, just describe us how you would feel during the time before you board on the steps of the plane. Would you be excited, or you think it would be very much boring, or would you enjoy the whole trip? Can you explain or describe how your journey would be, and how would your thinking be before you board onto the flight?
I wouldn't really be scared. I would kind of be excited to go because there's like if you got bored, there's like a TV screen where you can watch movies. So I wouldn't really be scared. I would be happy to go. And like there's people that are like, they're just scared of just playing. So there are some like parts to it. So for example, there's like oxygen breathing chambers. So you can wear this thing on your shoulders, and then you put like it's like a mask on your mouth, and then it gives you oxygen if there's a lack of oxygen. So wait, let me see if I can get a picture, because the airplanes have that like over here. Uh, Here you go. Yeah. So there's like masks like this. If there's like an oxygen leak, and then if a plane does, unfortunately crash or something, it has the power to like stay floating in the water. So people could put on life jackets and still be safe because it can float in the water. Like it can't sink in the water. So the only weakness of planes would just be like crashing on land or something. Though it's gonna be hard to um, control.
Okay, so that was very good presentation from Tanishwar, as basic as it could get, and it was very informative. Good job, Tanishwar. Both your presentations will be taken up into CRS 2.0. Well done, well done.
Very well done, Tanishwar. Great presentation.
Thank
Great job,
you.
Tanishwar.
Tanishwar.
Thank you, everybody.
All right, so Guru Prasanna, Ratan Nitish, Kavin Sandron, Sibi Adityan, do you have any questions?
Sir, I have a question, sir.
Yes.
Sir, can I ask, sir?
Yes.
So, Taneshwar, it was a really good presentation, and my sir, did you say anything, sir? Okay, sir. So, Taneshwar, my question to you is, so in the aeroplanes there is engines, and there is a lot of crashes in the past because of the engines. Like there are birds going to the engine, and just the fan is just crashed, and there is a lot of plane accidents. So, do you have any ideas to prevent those type of accidents?
So planes go up to like 30,000 feet into the air. At least like a passenger plane. So I don't think any birds would fly around from there. But like if they are like landing or taking off, there's like a potential chance, yeah, like chance that a bird could get stuck in there. So a solution for this would be to like add like a small little layer, or like I don't know, something that would like not want like the birds to go there. So like if like chameleons, they change color to like scare like their predators away, or like butterflies, there's like weird like shades there. So if you could find like something that would scare birds, like, and then like it's like good with the design of the aeroplane, and it doesn't like interfere with like the function and anything, then I think that would be good.
Sir,
Sir,
your
you're
mic
mute.
is muted.
Yeah, I was saying my brother has come from Bangalore. I'll just go down, welcome them, and I'll come back. Just give me 2 minutes. Shall I?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right. Have an informal discussion within that time. As a matter of fact, Dakshin, you have been listening to the outlay of the activity that we spoke yesterday. Explain that to Daneshwar and Siddharth, and I'll be back in a moment. Just give them an outline, and then I'll come. Okay.
Yes, sir. Okay, so Can y'all hear me, friends?
Yes,
No section and no.
Okay.
Yes,
So
now.
yeah, so we're going to do a new activity today, and it's basically based on good manners and habits. So the task sheet says that the activity's name is Act Your Age Solutions Pack. I'll just put it up in the chat box for your benefit. Yeah. So in this activity, we have to make sure that Kavin and Sibi, two of the junior most attendees of our session, they have to involve more. And this activity will have instant thinking and solution, providing model courses of action. And the basic outline is in this activity, we are supposed to come up with solutions with regard to problems attached with manners, behaviors, habit patterns of teens and preteens. Got it? It's basically basically has got a lot to do with manners, behaviors, and habits of teens and preteens. And we have to give solutions to these attitude problems in teens and preteens. So that's basically the activities outline. And when Sir comes, he'll start off with the first round and he'll explain even more about it. So yeah,
I have a
thank you.
question.
Yes, bro.
So it's like Sir gives us a few traits, bad traits, and then we have to give him solutions of how to fix them and get them better.
Yes, bro.
Okay.
Okay. Am I audible and visible to everybody?
You're audible,
Yes, sir.
not visible, sir.
So you're visible to me.
Okay. Let me leave. I'll leave and join back.
Yeah. Okay, Dakshin, have you illustrated things to them?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me reiterate the activity one more time for everybody's benefit. For a better audio, join another device because we need to have a proper clarity in the explanation of the activity. So, am I audible now? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
No.
Okay, so the activity is called as Act Your Age and Solutions Pack. Now, in this particular story, understandably, we are continuing tomorrow also. So I'm going to make this as a storyline where there are two important kids as the character. One's name is Ravi, R-A-V-I. Another's name is um, Suresh, S-U-R-E-S-H. Ravi is played by Sibi Adityan, and Suresh is played by Kevin Sandron. And you got to understand that these two boys at their household, they are facing a very big challenge. Like, for instance, Ravi is in the 10th grade, and Rishi is in the 11th, Suresh is in the 11th grade. Now, there are some infantile complaints, infantile reaction complaints. Let me spell it to you. Infant, I-N-F-A-N-T, infantile, I-L-E, infantile reaction. In psychology, there is something called as infantile reaction, which means a 15-year-old boy behaving like a 3-year-old, a 25-year-old youngster behaving like a 10-year-old. It's called as the infantile reaction. Psychologist William Blake says that every single individual in this human race has got this infantile reaction. You get angry, you punch on the wall. Infantile reaction. You get agitated, you throw that is present in your hand. Infantile reaction. You use abusive words during angered moment. Infantile reaction. All right, so losing the matured ailments of your mind is called as infantile reaction. Boys and girls, they get lots of complaints and they are charged on a negative way for their infantile reaction when they are in the teenage. In our story, Suresh and Ravi are very good friends and they are having a lot of infantile reactions and their family members are very much irritated with them. Now, Dakshin Siddharth is playing the role of a guidance counselor and he is having an aversion towards teenagers. Dakshin can pick a name for himself. He is a guidance counselor. He's in the school. This guidance counselor is supposed to be a good, approachable person. Excuse me. But he claims that he has got an aversion towards the teenagers. And while the other colleagues are asking, dude, if you are having the aversion towards a teenager, then why the bloody hell you are working in the school? If you think that this place is not fit for you, then submit your papers, tender your resignation, and leave the place. But he says, no,
I don't have any problem with the preteens, but these teenagers, I hate them. So that's guidance counselor number 1 of Western Wing, guidance counselor of Western Wing. Section Siddharth, aversion against the teenagers. I'm putting my English words very, very simple so that Sivyaditan and Kavin Sandron will also be able to understand. Because it's a tricky combination. Danish and Siddharth from US, Sivyaditan and Kavin Sandron, 2 little kids learning English only now. So I'm having a very big challenge here. In the southern wing, southern, eastern, let us not go by that way. Block 1, the school's block 1, led by guidance counselor, which is Dakshin Siddharth. Nature, aversion towards the teenager. Block 2, there is a guidance counselor. That is Guru Prasanna. This guy is a very nice person. Unlike the block 1 guidance counselor, this guy is pretty neat in terms of approaching. He's good with the teenagers. Teenagers are considering him as a good friend. He's good with the preteens. Preteens are considering him as a very good savior. The point is, this guidance counselor has got a lot of memory loss. He settles one dispute on Monday, and on Tuesday, he goes to another person and he speaks about the dispute that was supposed to be the another person. Memory loss. Second guidance counselor. Block 3, there is another guidance counselor, that is Siddharth, led by Siddharth. Siddharth is very grumpy, is good, talented, associative, very nice, quick fix solution is always available with him. But this guy is very grumpy. Although the school is operating on the open door policy, students seldom have the confidence to get inside Siddharth's room. A very grumpy counselor, but inner heart is really, really very merryful. But the personality is like that. In comes into our story in the 4th block. In the 4th block, there is another guidance counselor, and he is Tanishwar. He is another kind, very good in terms of sociability, open-minded, goes and shares the dining table along with the children, doesn't have any hierarchy, breaks all the protocols, and he's so good with the students. But the point is, sometimes he doesn't know where to be a matured individual, where to be a kiddish individual. Sometimes he gets more close to the students. And some students feel that he is very despair. 12th grade students think that this guy is only supporting the 11th and 10th grade, not us. Likewise, there is a kind of a disparity, prejudice. He's one-sided. He's not actually like that, but there is a huge complaint about him. He's one-sided. Okay, right? And then the final character, played by Ritanitish. He's the supervisor of all these guidance counselors. As a matter of fact, he is the human resource manager of that school, who has employed all these guidance counselors. And persons like Suresh and Ravi, when they would like to go and talk to the supervisor, the head of all the guidance counselors, they don't get a proper solution because he himself does not have a focus. A defocused individual. He hates the school. He wants to work somewhere else. He wants to work for organizations, corporate environment. He hates the school. But nevertheless, he has been fulfilling the duty of recruiting all these guidance counselors. Every single day, somewhere or other, there is a problem in the school between the HR manager and these guidance counselors. Take the story from here. Each guidance counselor is having a challenge. The head of the institution, the principal, is having no clue. He cannot fire all these individuals, but he has got loads and loads of students to take care of. Dakshin, yes.
Ritan now supervisor, right, sir?
Unfortunately, yes.
School எங்கேயோ போயிடுச்சு.
Right, right. That's a predicament, good predicament. So take the story from here, and I want a good discussion to happen within yourselves. A team discussion should be there, and you have ample amount of time. You have 3 objectives to be fulfilled. Yeah, Guru Prasanna.
Sir, yes, sir. Sir, I have one doubt, sir. Sir, like,
What-
are we, sir, we should continue the story and complete the story, or we should give the solutions for all the guidance managers, sir, councils, sir?
No. Your objective. That's what I'm saying. You have only 3 objectives. What you have to do is you need to discuss and you need to accomplish all those 3 objectives. That's all.
Okay, sir.
Objective number 1, Suresh and Ravi have to be changed. They have complaints from the parents. One fine morning, parents of Suresh and parents of Ravi are coming to the respective guidance counselors. As a matter of fact, they come to all the guidance counselors and they submit a copy each. Submit a copy of complaints about both of them, each one a copy. The complaints are, he's not behaving properly, he's not respecting elders, he's not taking care of his own self, he's very, very unhygienic, right? Okay. So right from wetting the bed, even at this age, till not knowing how to behave with the elders, so much of complaints. But the guidance counselors are saying that trust me. The one guidance counselor, let's say Dakshin Sudat, says, trust me, this guy is really good, but whatever the complaints you are saying is completely opposite to what you are saying. What these guys are behaving in the school. So nobody is prepared to believe, but these people are coming up with a lot of complaints. And honestly speaking, no guidance counselor knows the complete report of behavior of Ravi and Suresh. Nobody has got a good study about them. So my first objective that has to be fulfilled with your group discussion, team discussion is, what is the solution you guidance counselors are going to give for Ravi and Suresh? And if you are giving a solution, which guidance counselor is going to give the solution? Okay, right? So that's the first objective, solution for Ravi and Suresh. Second one, as Guru Prasanna rightly asked, if a school has got these kinds of guidance counselors, how can we change the guidance counselors? And the students' lives are at stake. What is your opinion about it? Or what is your solution for this multitude of problems that these guidance counselors have? Yes, a mistake has been happened. Wrong guidance counselors have been chosen. Now, what's the solution? Where do you take it from here? That's the second objective. Third objective. What do you do with this supervisor? This man was so corrupt. Irrespective of knowing that these guidance counselors have been having the pitfalls and mistakes within their characters, still the person has recruited all of them by getting the bribe. So what's your solution for this supervisor? 2 conditions, boys. 2 conditions. Condition number 1, nobody is supposed to be fired. Condition number 2, nobody is supposed to be given a strict dealing or punishment. You have to abide with these 2 conditions, and you need to give solution for these 3 objectives.
So what's the second condition?
Second condition is you should not be so strict, stringent, and stern in your principles, and you should not punish anybody. You understood, Dakshin?
Yes, sir.
So all of you have to discuss. First of all, make it as a skit, just like you did in the parallel connection activity yesterday. Or no, let us not do about a skit. Let us straight away jump into the conclusion and give the solutions. That's also fine. But have a prelude, primitive discussion. I will be asking, if you're not playing as a skit, then I will at least have a questioning phase. I will ask question to each and every character, and you have to stay in character and you need to answer that question. You've got ample amount of time. Anyhow, this activity is going to be continued tomorrow also. So you've got ample amount of time. So prepare properly. It is not like 2 meeting windows and 2 teams discussing. It's about all of you having a proper channelized discussion within yourselves and coming up with a solution. That's it. The task sheet is given to you. Now over to you. If you have got any questions, you can ask.
No questions, sir.
No questions, sir.
Good. Okay. So Dakshin Siddharth, Tanishwar, Guru Prasanna, Ritan Nitish, Kavin Sandron, and Sibi Adityan. Work on it and give me the solution. Even if you are not worried about the other 2 objectives, I want the first objective to be fulfilled. What's your solution for these complaints against these 2 boys, Suresh and Ravi? How are you going to give solution as guidance counselor? Make it as a scene, like, sir, myself, who has got, there should be a proper role. You have to put in the chat box the role play names. Even if you want to change the names of Suresh and Ravi, I don't mind. Bring up a new plot, new name, and put it in the chat box. And make a drama or a skit or something. And have fun. And at the same time, make sure that you're giving solutions for these 2 boys. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. So for the Indians who are present here, the time is 6:35. I might be fast. And for the US batch, Tanishwar and Siddharth, I would like to say we still have about 35 minutes left in our session today. 35 minutes. We have completed 1 hour and we still have 35 minutes. So how much time do you require for the team talk?
Sir, about like 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
15, 20 minutes. That's what Tanishwar and Siddharth are saying. Dakshin, Ritan, Guru Prasanna, what do you think?
Sir,
35 minutes.
yes, sir, 35 minutes for the max, sir, because there is quite some teammates, sir, so we have to get everyone ready, sir. So
We'll start fresh tomorrow, sir.
yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
On a Sunday.
Appa.
You mean the presentation or team talk?
Presentation.
Presentation.
Nalla vela.
If you want to give
Supervise
us
the language, Bhatia.
talk, then we're okay, sir.
The Dakshin supervise the language, Bhatia. Quite
Yes, sir.
some members. Supervise run on a language dance on it.
Yes.
Okay. Right. As of now, I'm giving 35 minutes for your team talk, and then we will take a stock. Dakshin has prepared a meeting room. All of you can go to the meeting. Enjoy, have fun. Bye.
Thank you, sir.